Good afternoon, everybody. So today is actually like a Saturday, even though all of you, came for the Lamrim class, which is I really appreciate about it. So right now we are, studying the wisdom chapter. So we just have read the principal aspect of the path. Now you can see the sentence paragraph number 5. is mainly explained about the renunciation. Then the paragraph number 6, so important. Renunciation, however, if not tempted by pure mind or bodhicitta, does not bring forth the perfect bliss. Even though if you are able to accomplish the renunciation, if you are not able to come down with the bodhicitta, only renunciation cannot bring you for the perfect bliss. That means first we need to practice renunciation based on knowing the nature of samsara. In order to know the nature of samsara, you need to focus two areas, which is the truth of suffering, origin of suffering. Then slowly you are able to understand the nature of samsara, the truth of suffering. Then you wish to eliminate the suffering. You wish to be free from suffering. That means renunciation. Without bodhicitta, only practice renunciation, you cannot be Buddha. Still, you can be Arhat. The next program number 9. Although you turn in renunciation and mind of bodhicitta, that you are able to completely practice renunciation, bodhicitta, if you are not able to realize the ultimate reality, which is emptiness, then you cannot cut the root of second existence. Therefore, as a Buddhist practitioner, so we must practice renunciation based on knowing the nature of samsara, nature of truth of suffering. Then if you wish to be Arhat, only merely benefit for yourself, then you need to practice emptiness. Then you not only that, you want to be Buddha, you want to achieve Buddhahood, then you must practice renunciation as a practice of methods. Then you must practice emptiness, do a lot of meditation of selflessness. This is practice of wisdom. Again, if you want to be Buddha, then you need to practice bodhicitta. Practice of bodhicitta including the practice of methods. So all the Buddha teachings, the Sutrayana teaching, Tantrayana teaching, so whatever teaching taught by Buddha include into 3 baskets, with baskets or 3 prittika, Vinaya, Abhidharma, then Sutra. So that means all the teaching about, include into 3 baskets. Then the practice, what we practice every day, all the practices include into 3 practices. The basic, the foundation is practice of Pratimokkha vows, ethical discipline. So this is one of the 6 Pranjana Paramita. Then second, very important practice, we need to practice the wisdom. The wisdom has many, levels. That's the most important one. The wisdom which realizes emptiness, which is practice of wisdom, including into the perfection wisdom. So even though you're able to practice ethical discipline, you're able to practice the first paramitas, also you're able to practice wisdom, which is realize emptiness. If you don't able to practice, the meditative concentration, then you cannot develop furthermore. It's always stay, same level. You cannot go further. You cannot go beyond. That's why, as a Buddhist, we must recognize the 3 baskets. Also must recognize the subject matter, which is practice of morality, practice of wisdom, practice of mindfulness. If you able to compound these 3 practices your daily life, then day by day you're able to go, beyond the samsara. You're able to go all the way to, liberation, all the way to Buddhahood. That's why right now we are studying, the wisdom, perfection of wisdom. So look at all the practices include into, 3 practices. Then in the first to the 4th perfections include into practice of disciplines, ethical disciplines. Then the last perfection, which is perfections of wisdom, is practice of wisdom. Then the number 5th, which is meditative, meditative concentrations, include into practice of mindfulness. That means all the teachings include into 3 baskets. All the practices include into 3 mind trainings. So look at the Buddhist is very simple, Then, so I explained last study what is the connection between 6 paramitas and bodhicitta and Buddhahood. So the bodhicitta is the very foundation as a Mahayana practitioner. The person be bodhisattva or not is mainly only depend on bodhicitta. If you able to generate, the bodhicitta, you are Mahayana practitioner. You are bodhisattva. If you are not able to generate bodhicitta, still you consider yourself Mahayana, Buddhist Mahayana practitioner. You are not really, reach the Mahayana practitioner level. So bodhicitta is the foundation. When you have a bodhicitta, you have a very strong, great compassion towards all sentient beings. Then bodhicitta push you to achieve Buddhahood. Then between Buddhahood and between bodhicitta, that you need to practice, the 6, perfections. Then practice of bodhicitta include into, practice of methods, also in mainly practice of, ethical disciplines. If you only practice bodhicitta, not, able to or not, practice 6 perfections, then you cannot achieve Buddhahood. So 6 perfection is in kind of, very important resource between bodhicitta and Buddhahood. Between the 6 perfections, the wisdom is very important. That's why last study we learned without perfection wisdom, without wisdom, the 5 paramitas are look like blind person, or only 5 perfection, not the wisdom perfection. That means you complete the painting without complete the eyes. The wisdom is look like perfect eyes to see the things. So within the wisdom, there are many different levels. Generally, whatever we do, we must done based on wisdom, know the reality, know the truth. This is one level. The second, selflessness, which is knowing all phenomena, nature is selflessness, is a second level of the wisdom. The last level or the fine level of wisdom is wisdom which realizes emptiness. As an ordinary being, so difficult to realize the second level, which is all phenomena. Nature is all phenomena, nature is selflessness. So more difficult, realize emptiness. It's difficult because one, the emptiness, selflessness is so difficult to understand because it's so deep, it's so profound. That's why we felt it's very difficult. Second reason is always, being difficult for us because we never, put enough effort. We never get, right instruction, right explanation about emptiness. That's why we feel, difficult to understand emptiness. So that's why if you really seriously want to know, that means you really must, study the wisdom chapter. It's difficult, but it's very important. So it cannot be, automatically never become very easy unless you put enough effort, unless you learn, certain logics. That's why I ask you to, read a few pages about what? About the benefit of wisdom. That's why whenever we practice about, Buddha teaching, first we must know what will be the benefit, after I practice, the practices. Also you must know, if I don't practice, what will be the loss for me. So when you clearly see the benefit and, disadvantage, then you feel to practice the Dharma, feel to practice, the teaching. So that's why I ask you to read the benefit of, practicing wisdom. At the beginning, there are 4 kind of paths. Number 1, what wisdom is. Number 2, how to begin the generation of wisdom. Then number 3, the division of wisdom. Number 4, how to practice. Number 5, summary. Right? That means before we practice wisdom, we must know, what wisdom is. What does mean wisdom? Then, yes, you can recognize, this is the definition of wisdom. Then how you begin, how to begin to practice wisdom. You will practice, seriously about the wisdom when you fully know the benefits of practicing wisdom. Then the division of wisdom very important. When you practice wisdom, you must know what kind of wisdom you are practicing. Then finally, summarize. So how to begin, a generation of wisdom? Look at here. We already, study the page number 212. The way to begin the generation of wisdom is to contemplate the benefits of generating wisdom and the faults of not generating wisdom. Right? That's why every time, even though when you take a refuge to Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, you must know what kind of benefit I can have when I practice wisdom. Taking refuge. Also, you must know what kind of faults, what kind of disadvantage I can have if I don't take refuge into Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Same thing before you practice great compassion, bodhicitta, 6 perfections, you must know what are the benefits I can have, what are the loss or faults, disadvantage I can have. When you see the two things very clearly, then automatically you really wish to practice the Dharma. So far, we have, belief about, benefit or practice of Dharma, benefits or practice of great compassion, bodhicitta. We just believe, but we never have, the belief system based on wisdom. So that's why we don't simply believe, don't simply practice Dharma. We must practice belief based on knowing all the reasonings and logic. That's why every time whenever you practice, first you must contemplate the benefits and the faults. Then there are so many benefits. I will explain the benefit and faults of having or lacking the wisdom of reality, selflessness, right? In the insight section. So, Lama Tsongkhapa want to explain the benefits of wisdom. There are many levels. The fine or the deep level wisdom is selflessness. This one Lama Tsongkhapa said here, wisdom of reality, selflessness, in the insight section. So he will explain, mainly when we study about the wisdom chapter. I will not elaborate on it here, but I will discuss the remaining, types of wisdom a little. That means he will, explain the benefit of the rest of the wisdom very little. I think mainly based on 5 or 6 pages. Now look, with respect to indicating wisdom is wisdom benefit. Wisdom is the root of all good qualities for this and future lives. Right? Simply, all the benefit which we have in this life, we can have because of the wisdom. All the loss, all the disadvantage we have because we don't have the wisdom. So wisdom is very important. Then Nagarjuna said that wisdom is the root of all good qualities. Sin and not yet sin, to achieve both of these, embrace wisdom. So wisdom is the root of the all good qualities. Certain qualities we can see with our eyes, we can see with the sixth mind. But something we cannot see through our 5 faculties, we cannot see through our 6th mind, because something is totally beyond our concept, totally beyond our thoughts. Even though they are totally beyond our thoughts, but still depend on wisdom. Then the last class, I explained all phenomena we can categorize into 3 levels: visible object, hidden object, very hidden object. The hidden and non-hidden is not something we cannot see, we cannot understand, because it's the hide by someone. No, naturally it's so difficult for us that we call very hidden object. Some object we cannot see through our 5 senses, our eyes, our air, our nose, our body, sensation, we cannot see. But there's a way you can see, there's a ways you can discover, which is based on logics and reasoning in all the philosophical, like a means to discover, to know the hidden phenomena. So within the hidden, hidden phenomena, the Four Noble Truths, the previous life, next life, the karma, the Buddha, all of them include into the hidden, not very hidden phenomena. Even the emptiness also include into, the second categories, which is, hidden. So according to Buddhist traditions, according to particularly, Nalanda tradition, so we have, very particular logic in order to realize impermanence, in order to realize the karma, in order to realize next life and previous life, in order to realize emptiness, selflessness. Each has a very unique, the philosophical reason and logics. For example, within the Four Noble Truths, the first truth has a 4 characteristics. First, impermanence. Why all, conditioned phenomena are impermanent? Then we has a simple logic. The sound, the voice is take as an example. The sound is impermanent. Why the sound, takes example as a impermanent? For us, very easy to realize sound is impermanent. For example, when you listen to music, the music, if you listen just 2 minutes music, it has a many words. When people sing song, you listen the sound. When they stop, the sound or the words has gone. That means based on sound and voice, very easy to realize impermanence. Therefore, the sound is impermanent. Rachajan, it is be impermanent. The sound, as an example, it is impermanent because it is conditioned phenomena. Conditioned phenomena. That means whatever phenomena is conditioned phenomena, subject to be impermanent, subject to change. Clear? Sound as an example. The sound is impermanent because it is conditioned phenomena. Whatever is, conditioned phenomena necessarily be impermanent, subjectively, be impermanent. So, based on sound, if you really want to realize impermanence, just, visualize a sound, how the sound arises, how the sound disappears. So therefore, it's very easy to realize impermanence based on sound. Second, impermanence, the selflessness. So all phenomena, empty nature of, all phenomena, nature is empty of independent, permanent, singleness, I. Because all phenomena, neither oneness of self, nor, true in as a self phenomena. These are simple logic, how all phenomena not exist as a selflessness. Then emptiness. So emptiness has a, in order to realize emptiness, there are so many, logics and reasonings. The simple logics, also very important logics we use. Again, the sprout, right? Like small tree, small plant, sprout. We can see the first there's a seeds. When we add soil, water, heat, then slowly the seed transform as a small sprout. This growing every day. Within few months you can see you fully grow. Next few months you can see he going to decay, he going to disappear. Then all phenomena you look at around, everything start from very small amount. Look at our body. When we were 1 year old, very little baby. 3 months old, very little baby. 1 year old, piece of like a small than like a frog. Very small. Then think about the first day, just 1 year old, like a person in the mother womb. It's a very tiny kind of particle. Then think about, 1 minute. It's very small. When you divide within the small pieces, there are so many, particles and things together. Then slowly it's become bigger and bigger. Now we have a huge body. After we died, then, somebody, somehow our body go underground. Maybe somebody going to be burned. Somebody maybe, cut into pieces, offered to the dogs and vulture and wolf. We don't know. But finally it's go again, like particle levels. That means everything is arising based on causes and condition. Also going to disappear or going to decay based on causes and condition. Therefore, the simple logic we use, based on all the Madhyamaka school, the sprout nature is, nature is emptiness. We not say sprout is emptiness, then their nature is emptiness. Because it is dependent. It is be dependent. Business dependent arising. So is be dependent. Right? The sprout nature is emptiness. That means the sprout, the small plant is an example. So the small sprout is, nature is emptiness. Why this nature emptiness? Because it is be in the, so it's be dependent. Be always be dependent, not independent. Always be dependent. Now just imagine, you can see, everybody just imagine you are looking at, a small piece of, like plant, small tree, small sprout. Now you can think that the nature of the, the plant, nature of the sprout tree, the nature is totally emptiness. Why? Because it is always be, dependent. Always be dependent. Dependently exist. That means whatever phenomena, always be dependent. Necessarily, nature is emptiness. Emptiness. That's why, we have a certain logics and reasoning, particularly related to the certain topic. Impermanence, selflessness, emptiness, and karma. The karma, I think many people, even though I don't think they really have a perfect understanding of karma. Actually, the karma is the Sanskrit, word. Karma or kram. Karma is usually, the kram is the action. Action. When we talk about action, look at, we have a physical action, verbal action, mental actions. Whatever act we act, we act based on motivation, based on mind. Without mind, you cannot act, right? That's why all the actions, they lead by motivation. So, based on motivation, then we have a positive action, negative action. So when you act negatively, you can see the consequence is always negative. If you act positively, the consequence is always positive. You can see the result. Then, how we can say, I accumulate negative action, negative karma, positive karma. We accumulate, right? We say we accumulate, we purify. So, when you act negatively 2 minutes, so for the 2 minutes, your mind got positive habit. So when you act negatively for 2 minutes, when you say, negative things by verbally, when you have a negative physical action, mental action, during the action time, your mind got habit to do bad things. If you continuously act negatively, then your mind continuously got habit. If you act positively, 2 minutes, when you act physically, verbally, at the same time, your mind also, having positive habit. If you accumulate the positive habits for, on your mind for 1 minute, 1 day, 1 year, 10 years, positive habits, right? Positive habits, then usually you have a lot of positive actions. Then if you act, negatively for 1 day, 1 year, 10 years, then you got the, negative habit in your mind. Then the person naturally who has a lot of negative, negative mental habit, the person always act negatively. The person who has a positive, mental habit, the person always act positively, right? That's means within this life you can see, if you always act positively, you have a happy life, you have a healthy life, you have a, good family, happy family. If you act always negatively, you have a, negative life, you have a, negative friends, negative families, negative environment. So, we say, you are good because we say you have a good karma. Oh, you are facing problem because you have a negative karma. You are having good life, you have a positive karma. The positive karma, negative karma, if we can talk about based on this life or based on previous life. For example, somebody act, only negatively in previous life. This life, person definitely act negatively. The person who has a lot of positive, habit in the previous life, the person always act positively. Therefore, negative karma, positive karma, just think, you can is meant on, your mental habits. So that's why, in order to believe in karma, also you must know the possibility of karma, how the karma act, how the karma is accumulating. Everything we can learn based on, logics and reasoning. That's why wisdom is so important. So, simply, the simple I'm saying, whatever we believe as a Buddhist, whatever you believe in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, believe in next life, previous life, karma, impermanence, whatever you believe, must believe on knowing, must believe based on wisdom. Then your belief system become very stable. Then, otherwise, you have so many beliefs things, you believe in so many things, you just simply believe, you are not sure, right? Also we believe next life, right? If I ask you serious, are you really believe in next life? Then somebody going to say, yes. Somebody say, I don't know lah, right? My parents said, my teacher said, Shifu said, there's next life. So that's why I believe, right? So this is important wisdom. Next, we just read page number 213. Right? Look at Arya Sura. That is sutra name taught by Buddha. The merits of generosity and so forth are more powerful with wisdom as their lot, just as a shine more broadly when instant with joys. Right? Now look at analogy and actual meaning. That means merit of generosity, because you always practice generosity. Also, you believe in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. You practice ethical discipline. You chant. You do prostration. So many practices you have been doing. All the practices, if you're able to do, based on wisdom, all the practices become more powerful, right? Are more powerful with the wisdom as their lot. Lot means the chief of the practice. Then analogy, just as a era of fine gold jewelry shine more broadly when inset with jewels, right? You have a diamond finger, like a ring or diamond things. If you add, gold ring, silver ring, if you add diamond, the ring become more beautiful, right? So everybody know. That's when, the ring, it look like practice of generosity, practice of, faith, practice of karma. The diamond is look like, the wisdom is look like diamond. The next sentence, please read. The wisdom. Okay. Share with call the soon share in Renja Trago Ogi Salon, so don't let the Yonten to shrub in the Geshe to Wangboran, which are two jinkin and salwa temperature. Yeah, it is the wisdom that radiates was a capacity for virtues in the purpose of each one. So it's a bit difficult in English. So don't let the Yonten shrub in the Geshe. Yeah, is example, even though without practice of wisdom, even though you can practice the 5 perfections, for example, but the 5 perfections practice with the wisdom, without practice with wisdom is different. For example, even though you can see the things through your eyes, without really have a concentration, you can see. But there's a big difference when you see something with your eyes with a concentration, without concentration. That means, when you fully concentrate on that object, you can see the object is better. This is saying that these words. Similarly, look at wisdom is also crucial for other faculties such as a faith and so. When wisdom is present as a Lord, your generosity, faith, understanding will merit of the virtues and the faults of the steadiness and so forth. So you become skilled in eliminating affliction and increase on good qualities. Right? That's mean I already explained before. The next sentence, please. Among for reflection, right? Now look at among the virtues, faculties of the faith and soul. So faculties, we have 5 senses, right? 5 senses. Then the 5 senses is an analogy of all the virtues. Then wisdom is chief, right? That means wisdom is the chief among the virtues, And the mind is the chief of the sensory faculty, right? Faculties. With the wisdom as Lord, you know what is false, what is a merit. So you are skilled in the methods of eliminating afflictions. So this means wisdom is very important. So there are another few important I mentioned, I should explain here. Next sentence. Yeah. Bodhisattva depend on wisdom to purify the other 5 perfections. Perfections. This means purify perfection means it doesn't mean eliminating the generosity. Without practice of wisdom, if you practice generosity, the generosity is incomplete, not that pure, right? Even though you have a very expensive jewelry, if you don't clean in the proper way, it's still expensive, but the beauty is not there, right? Not there. Same thing, without practice wisdom, without knowing the reality, you are able to practice generosity. The generosity is not that pure. So in order to have a very pure, very complete generosity, you must practice what? The wisdom, right? Even when they give their flesh to someone who seek, ask for it, they are unaffected by such a thought as pride, discouragement. Now he's talking about Bodhisattva, right? So Bodhisattva depend on wisdom. You make sure what does mean Bodhisattva. That means the person who are he or she doesn't matter. The person who have the bodhicitta, the person is Bodhisattva. So Bodhisattva depend on practice of bodhicitta. It doesn't mean Bodhisattva don't practice wisdom. Yes, they do practice wisdom. Why? Without practice wisdom, all the practices never become very pure. Very pure. Clear? Very pure. Then look at. Even when they give their flesh, who? Bodhisattva. When they give their flesh to someone who asks for it, they are unaffected by such a thoughts or pride, discouragement. Right? For example, so you practice generosity. Then somebody asks, can I have your eyes? You say, no, I cannot. Right? I cannot. Why we cannot? Because we don't have the wisdom. Bodhisattvas, who practice bodhicitta based on great compassion, if they are able to give, offer their flesh to the person who asks, they are able to because the Bodhisattva practice bodhicitta with the wisdom. We cannot because we don't have the wisdom. Then very important here to get unaffected by such as thoughts of pride. Then next one, discouragement. Right? Look at among us, someone practice dharma, and due to practice dharma, sometimes they practice of generosity, practice of discipline, ethical discipline, practice of great compassion. When they practice, sometimes people feel what? proud about my practices, right? That means increase pride. When you practice Dharma, sometimes it increase your pride, right? Increase. Bodhisattva, doesn't matter how much, the Bodhisattva practices, even though they're able to give their head and legs and flesh, they never feel discouraged because they have a wisdom. They never have a pride because they have a wisdom, right? That means wisdom, help you to, see the perfect path. No pride, no discouragement. So that's why many people who practice bodhicitta, who start to practice great compassion, many times they think, oh, it's so difficult to practice, great compassion. I know, one of a student who come to here class, he is a doctor. He said something so difficult to practice passion, so difficult to practice compassion, feel difficult because the person doesn't have enough wisdom. That's why if you're able to practice wisdom, you never feel proud about your practice, about your giving things. Also, you never have a discouragement. Right? It is through the word taking a cutting from a medical plant. This is because their wisdom make reality manifest. So this example, I don't know, for example, when Bodhisattva, give, their flesh, like, hands and legs. For them, it look like, a cutting, taking cut from the medical plant. I think somehow, maybe India or maybe ancient time, there's a medical plant. If you cut today, it will grow tomorrow. Do you believe? Huh? No? Yes? Yeah, this example, right? You cut the branch today, tomorrow you can see the branch grow again. So Bodhisattva look like, he or she cut this hands, it doesn't mean it's grow. It doesn't affect the practitioner. Next, generosity, right? Now it explain one by one. Generosity. Next one, what is? Ethical discipline, right? With the wisdom that sees the travel of both secular existence and the peace of nirvana, they accomplish the ethical discipline for the sake of other welfare. So they practice pure ethical discipline through the wisdom. They know the faults of the impermanence and the merit of the patience. And they then discipline their mind so they are not overpowered by suffering and other misperception of them. Right? Now, why, ethical practice of ethical discipline never be pure without practice wisdom? Right? With the wisdom, they see what sees? They see troubles of both secular existence and the peace of nirvana. Right? So the Bodhisattvas, the practitioner who has the right wisdom, then they can see, the problems, the troubles in samsara. That's why they really wish to, escape from the samsara. They really wish to overcome from the samsara. And also, then they wish to achieve what? The nirvana, not Buddhahood, nirvana. When they wish to achieve nirvana, also they can see, achieving nirvana is incomplete, not complete. That's why they don't wish to, achieve just nirvana. They don't want to, stay born again in samsara because of the wisdom. Therefore, they want to practice ethical discipline very purely. Not only purely, able to practice ethical discipline, welfare, other welfare. Then discipline their mind so they are not overpowered by suffering and other misperception them. So I think there's somebody, I think, look like they did a bit confused because they say, the travel of samsara and next one what? Travel of peace of nirvana, right? Both mean, kind of bit problem in the samsara, also problem with the nirvana, okay? So you think why is there a problem with the nirvana, right? Look at. So the example I always, refer to use garlic and the smell of garlic. Just only achieve nirvana is look like you clean the garlic in your pot, but you haven't cleaned the smell. So just achieving nirvana, you eliminate, the affect emotion from the root. From the root mean look at, okay, like a tree, right? Like tree has let's say 3 branches. This is a tree, the trunk, the 3 branches. So this is the root of this branch, right? This is the root of this branch. This is the root of this branch. This is the root of this branch. All of this depend on the another root. So when I say the person who achieve nirvana, they eliminate the attachment from the root. There is his own root. The person who achieve liberation, nirvana, they eliminate attachment from the root. Anger from the root, other affect root, but they never eliminate the root of all the negative thoughts, which is the imprint of the affect emotion, imprint of the ignorance. That's why you can see just achieving nirvana, even haven't achieved my own achievement, haven't achieved other achievement. For other achievement. That's why they can see the problem. That's why when you practice wisdom, you will be free from samsara. Also, you will be free from the, the nirvana, not the Buddhahood, nirvana. Next, third one, with the wisdom, they understand well everything at which they joyously persevere. So the preference bring great success on the path, and through the wisdom based on the reasoning, accomplish the supreme delight and bliss of the meditative civilization. They fix upon meaning of reality. That means now you can explain one by one. Wisdom is so important to practice. Number 1, ethical discipline. Number first, generosity. Second, ethical discipline. Third, joyously perseverance, right? So without wisdom, all the practices never become complete, right? That's why, sometimes, everybody facing same problem. You really want to practice compassion. Yes, you try to practice. You practice compassion every day. When you see when you meet very difficulties, person, when you have a very difficulty brother and sister, then you cannot practice compassion. You cannot practice in love, right? Cannot because you don't have a wisdom. If you have a perfect wisdom, you never ever have any problem practice compassion anywhere, anytime. Anywhere, anytime. So ethical discipline, right? Or again, as a Buddhist, someone already taken the perception, right? Precept, yeah, the vows, precept. So after you taken the vows, you want to maintain the vows continuously. Something so difficult to maintain because you are facing certain challenges, certain problem, right? That moment, if you have a wisdom, then you're okay. It's okay. But so even though, when you practice, for the vows, if you always want to maintain the vows, but sometimes so difficult because you are facing challenges. At that moment, if you're able to use your wisdom, then you're not facing any problem to practice, the vows. Next, the sentence on the Bodhisattva. Can you read for me? Once open the clear eyes of the wisdom, even when they give their own flesh without thought, they never fall high or low about it, as if they were cutting the medical plant, right? Look at, that's why Bodhisattva opened their clear eyes wisdom. When they fully understood the reality, then even though when they give their own flesh without thoughts, they never feel high or low. Right, high, low. That's why sometimes you practice generosity. When you give something to someone, you feel a bit high. I'm good, I will give. Sometimes you're not able to practice generosity, then what do you feel? You feel low. Right? No. If you have wisdom, for example, how you use the wisdom? For example, somebody, donate $1 million for the people who need it. You just donate $1 million. You feel so high, right? I did a good job. That moment, why you feel I done such a great job? Because 1 million. Maybe somebody donate maybe 10 million, 20 million, 100 million. If you compare with them, your 1 million, nothing. That's why you never feel high. High, right? Then you feel low. Oh, I cannot donate much. I cannot offer only 1 million. I wish I will offer 100 or 200 million. You feel a bit low. Then you just think that people only donate $1. Then I'm good. That's why you never feel high. When you feel high, bring down. If you feel low, bring up. Is the what? Wisdom, right? The next one, intelligence. Please read for me. Right? Intelligence. That's why, again, also when we practice ethical discipline, mainly we practice for benefit for ourselves. Okay? So the Bodhisattva who practice ethical discipline, they practice ethical discipline mainly for other, mainly benefit for other, mainly for other welfare. Why? How? That means, look at, it's a very simple example. Let's say parents, the one parent has one or two parents, one or two. We can say one parent, two parents. Huh? One parent, right? Let's say two, like I don't know, we didn't say, Pamani, father and mother, two. Let's say, one family, parent has 5 or 10 children. So the parent always want to be healthy. I really want to be healthy. They want to be healthy because of the children. If I become very unhealthy, I cannot support my children. I cannot have my children. That's why the parents always want to be healthy, always want to be happy. Mainly for what? For the children. That's why Bodhisattva practice ethical discipline, not only benefit for, him or herself, mainly for other sentient being. If I cannot, maintain my ethical discipline, I can become very bad person. Then I can have a lot of anger, hatred. That's why I cannot have other sentient beings. That's why wisdom is so important. Okay, and the next one, Injury during the words are not harmful because they are the pose of the good quality. So this is mainly, benefit of the wisdom. Then the intelligent one does not practice ethical discipline for their own aim. They see the faults in the present existence and aspire to release the entire world from it. So that's why, when we say you must practice generosity, when we say in the future you can have a lot of wealth, right? You must practice ethical discipline. You will born in the next life, you will born as a good human being, right? Then Bodhisattva thought, if I only practice ethical discipline merely, take a rebirth in the human again, then he can see still I'm in the samsara, right? You are transformed from one person to another person. Still you are in person. That's why he can see, the suffering, the problem in the human realms, desire realm, and a formless realm. He doesn't have any desire mainly, to born in the, human realms. He think I must take a rebirth as a human because I want to benefit whole entire sentient beings. So, okay, when we, read this sentence, I said many times, you should not read this Lamrim as a history book, novel books. So, when we read this sentence, at the same time, you must change your daily practices, how you must practice. That means all your practices, practice with the wisdom, ethical discipline, generosity, like other practices. The next sentence, please. Injury. Okay, text man Sharab Demba Namla no bother Zube Yende, you be no make you shindu to belong sona legi kepa namu zubajin. Injury done to the wise is not harmful. Sharab Demba Namla no bother Zube Yende, you be no make you. Yeah, injury done to the wise is not harmful. That means because they possess the injury done to the, what does mean? Yeah. This sentence is, do you think in Tibetan said, Sharab Dembana no. The person who has a wisdom, they are able to bear the injury of suffering. Is same right? Same in English? Actually, injury, right? Injury means hurt, right? Drawn to the was is not the harmful. That means each witness the injury drawn to the was, not the, what's the opposite of the wise? Maybe
can you say that the wise people, even if you hurt him, he will not feel hurt? Is that what you meant?
No. This English something I'm not sure the translated. Here says Sharal Dembanala no bother. So if you are very intelligent, if you have wisdom, doesn't matter how much you are facing problem in harming thing, is never harm, you never get injured right? Because the possess the good quality of the patience, like the best of the very tame elephant who are patient with many different tasks, right? That means you can see in the elephant, the 10 elephant, they walk many hours in the forest, they never feel pretty tired. It's not talking about patience. Next sentence. Yeah, these two sentences are very important. Perseverance by itself ends in exhaustion, right? If aided by its early wisdom, it achieved the great purpose. If you only, put lot of effort, whatever you want to do, only put lot of effort, finally what you feel? You feel tired. You feel tired. You're going to give up what you want to do. Thus, if you able to practice wisdom, then you can achieve, your achievement. So this is very very important advice as sundu chibu chebe ngalweda sharap togi kyana tension to perseverance by itself ends in the exhaustion. If aided by its only wisdom, achieve great purpose. Right? Is very important advice. That's why we put a lot of effort to practice dharma, to achieve something in our life. But so many occasions, we wish to achieve something we cannot achieve. Based on the dharma practice, based on the samsaric activities, because we don't have enough wisdom. Wisdom is very important. The next one, next sentence, how? Okay, so all the sentence, mainly explained, I think, the benefit of wisdom. Next, I thought I should move someone. There's another one. Oh, okay, we can have a break. Okay, so we resume our class. So when we chant, it's not that strong. When you speak, it's quite loud. Okay. Now we study a little bit more about the benefit of wisdom. It's very, yes, here a few important. Okay, same, page number 214. After the sentence, you look at two good qualities which may appear to be mutually exclusive, right? Prove to be non-contradictory for those who have a wisdom. Is very important. Sometimes we can see in two things totally contradiction. For example, the next here, simply, okay, another important, because many Buddhist people have a very concern about, eating garlic, onion, meat. So, if you just look at directly, somebody said you should not eat garlic. Somebody says it's okay to eat garlic. You can say contradiction. Right? Total contradiction. Then, someone get very sick, very serious. The doctor said, you must eat garlic. Garlic help you to, increase your immune system. It help to clean your toxin. Then the person thought, I'm Buddhist, I cannot. Because there's contradiction, right? Eat and not eating. If you're, if you have wisdom, if you're a very wise person, then you should think, yes, generally I should not take garlic. Due to sickness, in order to recover the sickness, I can take garlic as a medicine. Then another issue, eating meat. I'm not vegetarian. I take meat, but not lot of, but still take. That doesn't matter. You take lot of meat or little meat, still eating meat. Yeah, you still $1 or 10 million, you still consider as a thief. I am the thief. So let's imagine, in Singapore, you have a lot of option. in China, Singapore, Malaysia, a lot of options. You can eat a lot of vegetable. You can survive. Just imagine in my country, like Zanskar. In my lifetime, first time I saw tomato in 1980. When I traveling from Ladakh to South India, I saw tomato. The color is red. In my village, red color eating only chili. And they bought, like tomato, they make like a soy sauce, like sauce. They offer us, and so we are very, like, I was 16 years, I said, I don't want to eat, I thought it's chili, because the red color. Then they bought banana. Okay, so they offer us banana. My teacher, they didn't say you peel the skin. They bought in the market, banana give us. I think my friend knew, I think he need to peel. I just eat the banana with the skin. It's very bitter, I just throw away. So, Zanskar is like this kind of place. No like cabbage, no tomato, no onion, no vegetable. Only vegetable you can get from the mountain, Yeah, I saw we have a radish and potato. And no lot of, vegetable and high altitude. If you eat only vegetable, so difficult to, alive. Particularly winter. Winter, the temperature go minus 30 to 35 to 40. You cannot get, really, you cannot see kind of steam water. All water become frozen. Then, okay, you should eat meat or not, that area. You say, no, I should not eat because as a Buddhist, you're not supposed to eat. And that area you cannot survive. That's what you do. Then that time you must use your wisdom. Okay, that's why you can see, two contradiction. And also Buddha said very clearly in the Vinaya text, all the audience, male and female, should not do any business. Should not do any business. Then next certain area Buddha mentioned is okay to do business. Now you can see contradiction. Buddha said you should not do any business when you don't have any financial problem, any problem in your life. You should not do any business. If you got some loan, right, from you borrow something from someone, you cannot pay back. You have to beg, give me the money to beg, but you cannot. Then what you do? Then it's okay. You can do little business in order to pay back the money. So you can see there's a contradiction. If you use your wisdom, you cannot see any contradiction. Here, more important, look at when Bodhisattva have become universal monsters with the authority, merged with authority over the entire world. Let's say one Bodhisattva become, very powerful person. He can control whole world, right? Then what happened? Look at, they still do not fall under the control of sensory objects, right? Now you can see normally the medium people, medium kind of lower class, medium class. Okay, let's say the lower class people become rich. When they become rich, their the daily habit change, become more pride, arrogant, this thing. Then look at Bodhisattva become very powerful person. He can control whole world, but he never have what? Never have any sensory objects. No, still do not fall under the control of sensory. When you see the beautiful object, no attachment. When he can see very ugly thing, they have a sense of hatred. Right, because he have the wisdom. For example, among us, if you become most of the powerful, person in Singapore, then our habit will change. Habit will change. If you have a wisdom, the more you got power, your habit become more, you become more good person, humble person. Look at, Dalai Lama. He is one of the most, famous, respected, powerful person. when he go, with the assistants to Europe or America, everybody say, come together, eat together. He never say, I'm the king, I'm most memorable, you must stay there, I stay here. Everybody asked to come together, eat together, you sit equally. He never ever want to travel on the business class. That means, if we become like Dalai Lama, if I become like Dalai Lama, I will travel by economic. Sit, no economic, business class, no economic. Right? This is so important. Look at sensory object. This is the power of having wisdom as a royal minister. Similar, the Bodhisattva love. Next sentence, look at. Similarly, the Bodhisattvas love their view living being with affection in instance intense, but it is not mixed with even the trait of attachment. Although they have a long-lasting and very focusful compassion that cannot bear for living beings so suffer. They do not have the laziness of the being over. There's one, look at the next one. He has a, really love for all living being with affection. But the affection, the love, not mixed with the attachment. Right? With the attachment. Even the tiny attachment. Because of the wisdom. That's why it's so important, as a person, as a, living in the society. Of course, you have a friends, you have a family, you have a relatives. You must have a compassion. You must have a love. The love and compassion never mix with the attachment. Obviously, you can see when somebody has a, your relatives has a problem, you have a compassion, you have a love. But when they're facing problem, you become suddenly unhappy. Right? You become suddenly unhappy. Particularly, when you lost your dear brother or sister, your respected parent, you are not happy, never happy. You feel you are crying, you are upset, very upset about something. Because you have a compassion, you have a love, but the love and compassion mixed with the attachment. If you know the reality, if you have the wisdom, then you know, yes, I have a love and compassion for my, best friend, my respected parent. Also, you must know the person passed away. The person, has facing this problem. You must know this is the reality. You should not have a sense of unhappiness because of power of, wisdom. Love sentient being, all sentient being without attachment. Then, as well as, look again, although they have a long-lasting and very focusful compassion, long-lasting, important, we have a compassion, love to someone short time. Today you have a compassion, tomorrow you have a anger, right? Today you love someone, tomorrow you hate someone. That's why we don't have a long and lasting compassion. Look at the Bodhisattva have a long-lasting and very focusful compassion. They cannot bear for living being to suffer. But they do not have the laziness of being overcome with the disaster and thereby lacking the enthusiasm for virtues. Right? When you have a really, compassion to someone, when the people feel suffering, what do you feel? You feel unhappiness. You feel, someday you think, oh, it's too much. I cannot do. You become lazy. So Bodhisattva don't have those kind of problem because of the wisdom. Nyangin junno ye gewal ne lo me. Nyangin junno ne gewal amito lelo me. That's why many people say, oh, today I feel so tired because, I try to be patient with the person, but I cannot. I feel so tired. I will give up, right? So Bodhisattva don't have this problem because of the wisdom. Next one, they have immeasurable joy, but their minds are free of instability which would distract from their focus, and they are continuously process of great impartiality. So when we have a immeasurable joy, then our mind always, what happened? What happened? For example, when you have a very, sense of immeasurable joy about something, then suddenly our mind, change. We cannot focus anymore, right? Mind free from the instability which will distract them from their focus, and continuously possess the great impartiality. But they do not neglect for even the moment the welfare of living beings. Wisdom does all because it is what removable impediment. Yes. So this means all of this explanation. Wisdom. That means number one, when you see two practices contradict each other, then you must use the wisdom. When you have when you have got any kinds of good power, but you should not, your all mind should not go under the attachment. You must have a compassion for everybody. You must have a love for everybody, but the love and compassion should not mix with the attachment. Because when the love and compassion mix with the attachment, what is the problem? Look at. Then once you know something wrong, because when you practice compassion towards someone, you have a compassion. Due to compassion, you are facing a certain problem. Then you thought, because of the attachment, you try to reduce attachment. But at the same time, you reduce compassion. Because the compassion and attachment totally mix each other. Right? That means at the beginning, you must know what does mean compassion, what does mean attachment. After you fully know the distinguish between compassion and attachment, then you need to apply the compassion. First, you apply the compassion towards your relatives, your dear one. The same compassion. Second, same compassion you focus to your enemy, dislike person. If you are able to focus same compassion towards your enemy, this means your compassion is very pure, very pure. If you cannot have a same kind of compassion towards your enemy, that means your compassion is quite mixed with the attachment. Right? So important. So you must distinguish compassion and attachment. Pure compassion, and great compassion, then immeasurable compassion. That's all in many levels. Then next one, so next we move, I think, again page number in Tibetan. There's another important is mentioned here. Again, page number 215 and the last paragraph. The true facts that there are many dissimilarities in the prescription and the prohibition between the highest and lower vehicle, and between Sudara and Tantra, and these are all practice of single person, are contradictory for those who are confused and lack the power of intelligence. That's why sometimes you can see there's a contradiction, two contradiction practice between, Mahayana and Hinayana, higher level vehicle and the lower vehicle. Also sometimes you can see contradiction between Vajrayana and Sudrayana, right? So also sometimes Buddha, totally say you should not do. Sometimes Buddha say you must do. For example, Buddha said, when you go with your guru, or when you walk with your guru, you should not walk in front of your guru. Your guru go first and you go, after him or her. Then he said you should not. Then sometimes Buddha said you should. How? When you see there's a dangers, when you pass the road, when you see it's a dangers, then you must walk before your guru. You need to set the guru. You need to set the guru, right? That's why this one. Then also, in the Vinaya text, Buddha said all the ordinance person should not take shower every day. You take shower every 15 days. Every 15 days, okay. You should not take shower every day, right? And someday Buddha said you should take shower every day. Now you can see contradiction each other, right? Let's say, we are a full ordinance person. We are in Singapore. Can we follow Buddha's advice? Cannot, right? Right? Yeah. But of course you take shower every day, maybe every 4 or 5 hours. Because weather is so hot. That's why Buddha said you should not take a shower every day when the weather is cool, weather is okay. No need to take a shower. You should not waste the water. You should not waste your time. If within India, we have one place called Assam, Amarvata. Within the Assam, is called Eastern India. Within the Assam, there's one particular area, it's a hottest place. Buddha said, this area, you must take shower every day. Right? Then another, like a Vajrayana and Tantrayana. Mini Sudrayana text mention, look at, even as a full ordinance, monks, even though you should not, touch to the, as a monk, you should not touch to the female. And Buddha said, if there's a kind of, the female or ladies are drawing in the water, right, down water. Yeah, he said, you should not think, who is she? You should not think which part of body. Wherever you just, catch, you just touch and save the person. People say should not. Second, you should not think it's a hand or legs or whatever, you just grab and save the person. And also look at, touching, then again, like in the Vajrayana practice, you can see, something, they're talking about concert, talking about rely on the concert and all the chakra and channel, all the energy. Also, you must know why Tantrayana supposed to do this, why Sudrayana not supposed to, not allowed to do this. That's why you need to know, the reason. You use the proper reason and logic, use the wisdom, then you can see there's no any contradiction. Then another benefit is mentioned here, confusion. So I think I just look the Tibetan. Another important he mentioned here, if you really wish to practice the Dharma, the wisdom is look like heart. Heart is so important. So you must, practice the wisdom based on, very authentic teaching, text, and sutra, and try to understand the reality, try to realize the emptiness based on reasoning and logic. Then there are so many things which is not necessary to explain because it's only like a. Okay, next we move. They're talking about two types of Buddha teaching, right? Have you read? Gombapa. I'm not sure which study English. Before the division. Division, yeah. Before the division, you talk about two types of lineage, Gambopa. When you practice the teaching, what needed? Yeah. 220, the sentence number.
Second last paragraph. There are just two kinds of teaching.
Oh, yeah.
Teaching and scripture.
220, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 220, sentence number.
Second last paragraph.
Second last, okay, even somewhere, yeah. There I said nothing, right? So therefore. This one must. 220, last paragraph. The second last, okay, first.
It wrote from the bottom.
Yeah. Roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are we using same text?
Yes.
Can I see? Which one? Here. Oh, here. Oh, yeah. These are just two kinds of teaching. Scripture and the teaching that has been input to the practice. So that's why it's so important. We must know. Generally, many people don't talk about, two types of. They don't explain. There are just two kinds of teaching. One is the scripture and the teaching that has been inputted into the practice. That means, the teaching itself and the content of the teaching. Both we call, teaching. I'm not sure if we can say teaching. Yeah. Two kinds of teaching. What are they? Scripture and the practices. Right? For example, all conditioned phenomena are impermanent. The word also is the teaching. The meaning, right? The meaning, the practice also the teaching. Then look at here. Practice. The former, the scripture, right, makes known the procedures for practice, and the latest is simulating the practice after you have understood the procedures. So, in order to practice, the Dharma, first you need to, study the teachings. Then actually you're going to understand the meaning, right? That's why here actually Lama Tsongkhapa was saying, you must study. After you study, you must understand. After you understand, you must practice. That means whatever you practice, you must study. Whatever you study, you must practice. You should not have a two separate kind of study. Okay? Without knowing. Moreover, upholding the teaching in sense of practice depend upon the unreading understanding of scripture teaching. Therefore, it is not right to forget what you have studied at the time of practice. For you must first know many teaching and then put their very meaning into practice. When the times come to do so, even if you do not understand the teaching from the outside, do not be discouraged. Right? Therefore, whatever you study, you must practice. Whatever you practice, you must study. Right? Study. Then many people look at, if you do not understand the teaching from the beginning or outside, do not be discouraged, but strive to study them in accordance with your mental capacity. Right? At the beginning, if you don't understand the Buddha Dharma, you should not be discouraged. You have a strong, commitment or strong aspiration to practice, to study Dharma. Then important, he look at mental capacity. That means strive to study them in the accord with your mental capacity as much as feasible, whether they be little or lot. That means when we practice Dharma, when we study Dharma, we must practice Dharma according to your capacity. Your capacity, okay, capacity. That means look at, we have been hearing so many teaching, the Vajrayana teaching, higher Tantrayana yoga. Then we have been hearing, another many Tantrayana practices. So before you practice, you must check you have a capacity to practice the higher Tantrayana or not. Right? If you don't have a capacity that moment, you just wish to practice, but you should not try to practice the higher Tantrayana yoga. You must have a motivation, you must have a, wishing to practice Tantrayana. At the beginning, you just practice how much you can. You must study how much you can according to your capacity. Then slowly, you're going to increase your capacity to understand, to practice of Dharma. Otherwise, look like, one day I was close to I don't know the place name, close to the Kelang Stadium. So I was doing, usually I practice, yoga. There's a place very nice. I was looking from here to there. The distance is not that far. Then I saw, the small bird, very small bird can fly from here to there to here. I don't have. Then I thought, actually, the bird is so tiny bird, but he can fly very easily and can come to fly this area. But we humans have a huge, big body, but we cannot fly. That means different, being has a different ability. But the bird can fly easily, but the bird cannot think about emptiness. That I compare with myself, me and the bird. That means sometimes look at, the bird is so tiny, he can fly over there. Why not? I'm bigger than him. The bird, I'm bigger. I just try to fly. I cannot, right? That means among your friends, someone can practice the higher level practice. Then you should not think I can because my friend can. Why not? I cannot. You should not compare this way. You must check your capacity, your ability. Then here another advice, Lama Tsongkhapa give here. According with your mental capacity, as much as visible, whether that be little or lot, is a big or small, you must practice continuously. Do not make study and practice into separate thing. That means, okay, you say, this time is my study time, not the practice time. This is my practice time, not the study time. That means while you study, at the same time, you must practice. While you are practicing, also you must do the study. We should not have a separate time. This is my study time, this is my practice time. That's why according to Gelugpa tradition, we don't have two monasteries. Monastery for study, monastery for practice. When you go to Nyingmaba monastery, Kagyupa monastery, they always have a two monastery. Monastery for with Sheta, mainly study monastery. Monastery for the practice. Because we follow the Kagyupa tradition, which is Adisha and Dromdamba. What Adisha and Dromdamba said, while I am listening, teaching, at the same time I reflect, I meditate. While I am meditating, at the same time I am reflecting, I'm in a study. While I am reflecting on, at the same time I meditate, I am study. I never have a separate time. Study, reflect, meditation. This is very important advice for us. So we think about based on study. Sometimes it is not, I said many times, it is not, your mistake. It's mainly mistake by, the master and the Rinpoche, the Shifu. When they come to Singapore, they came to Singapore invited by, like center, invited by individual people, invited, they request the master to give a big teaching like initiation, empowerment. Right? Empowerment. Which is, in one hand, which is good. In the other hand, you don't know anything about empowerment. You don't know anything about initiation. You don't know anything about all the deities. You just go attend the teaching, then you try to practice the, the higher Tantrayana, yoga Tantrayana, higher Tantrayana. You try to practice. You cannot. That means, you totally, forget to practice renunciation, bodhicitta, great compassion, low causality. You try to practice very high level. That means you cannot reach the high level. You forget the, the perfect one. Then you are in the middle. You are in the middle. That's why you must practice, step by step. You move step by step, very, with a foundation, good foundation. Then one day there will be, you will have a time to, receive, higher Tantrayana. Then you able to practice higher Tantrayana. At the beginning, you should not really jump in the high level. Right? That's why we Tibetans say, so you tiger and wolf, right? Wolf? Tiger can jump. Tiger can jump quite long distance. Then the fox cannot jump as a tiger, right? The fox try to jump as a tiger. Then what will happen? Is broken their hip, right? That's why we are look like like a. We are not look like tiger, huh? We should not try to practice very high level, but we must go, slowly. That's why he said, look at, it's a big or little, but you must, fuzzle. Do not make study any practice into the separate thing. Rather, the very thing that you practice must be excelled what you first study and reflect upon. Beginning Bodhisattva must depend with the certain on single procedures of the path. Practice. There is not beside thoughts on the side by side, but it is complete in all aspects of the path. When their mental capacity is small, they engage in the conditioning themselves to just the process of study followed by practice. If their mental capacity great, or through the first small has become greater through the conditioning. Also, this exactly. At the beginning, it's so difficult to understand the meaning, so difficult to understand the Dharma. If you try to practice, it's so difficult to practice because we have a very small capacity to understand. We have a very small kind of ability to practice Dharma. Then many people they give up at the beginning, right? Oh, I cannot understand, I cannot practice, I don't want to study, I don't want to practice. You should not have this kind of discouragement, because you look at the capacity of understanding, the ability of practice is not the physical quality, right? It's not the physical not physical quality, it's the mental quality. When you become old, yes, physically you are become old. Our physical body become very old. Finally, you cannot, keep very youthfully. You cannot keep very strong continuously. The mind is not like body. At the beginning, you have a very small capacity to know the Dharma. If you put effort, your capacity going to be medium and greater. At the practice level, at the beginning, you have a very small ability to practice the Dharma. You should not just stop there. You continuously practice the Dharma, then your ability also become more greater. You can expand the capacity, you can expand the ability and capacity, because it's the mental quality, not the physical quality. All physical phenomena has a limited kind of condition, limited condition. That's why I told you, if you try to learn how to jump, you can jump first maybe 1 meter, 2 meters, maybe 10 meters. Still you try to jump further, finally you cannot. Your physical body become limited. Your body have a physical, your body has a limited power, limited ability. The mind, look at, first you just have a compassion towards only your families. Then you try to extend the compassion towards other friends. You can expand. You can expand the compassion towards entire sentient beings. That means your mind can develop furthermore. Okay, you should not discourage. If you don't understand, you're not able to practice Dharma. This is important advice. Then division is not that important, you can learn. Next, we study a little bit about the gathering of the 4 ways, right? Helping others to mature, the 4 ways to gather disciples. Page number 225. Summary maybe. Okay, so before I start this one, here's important thing mentioned here, Lama Tsongkhapa. I think the summary, right? Division. I just read page number 223. The last, last at the second paragraph. Nowadays, from among the 6 perfections, the center post of the both Sutra and Tantrayana path, right? That means 6 perfection is the center post. It looks like very important, like a pillar, look like heart. The 6, there exists in the slight measure the stage of the practice of meditative stabilization. So when Lama Tsongkhapa wrote this textbook in Tibet, that time, among the 6 paramitas, there's a kind of tradition to practice meditative civilization. But the stage of the practice of other 5 perfections have disappeared. Right? Even though that time, I think around the 6th centuries. So that time, even though look at within the 6 paramitas, many people practice meditative civilization, but the 5 perfection practice disappeared. Therefore, I have explained the key point of the practice in abbreviated from the all little or method of generation certain knowledge of them. That means in that time, within the six paramita, many people practice, meditative civilization, not much practice about the other five perfections. So why, the six perfections is so important? Then look here, all the Bodhisattva who will attain Buddhahood do so in reliance upon the six perfection. Right? That means all the Bodhisattva who will attain Buddhahood, they also depend on six perfection. Say there's the emphatically at the conclusion of the discussion of the each of the six perfection. Hence the six perfection are to know the present, present, future. That means all the Bodhisattva, past, present, future, who wish to achieve Buddhahood, they also practice six perfection. Also we wish to become Buddha, that's why we must practice six perfection. Then there's nothing much to explain. Okay, next we start the new subject, which is gathering, right, 4 ways to gather disciples. This is, I think, important topics. Gather disciples. What are the 4? Number 1, generosity. Number 2, pleasant speech. Number 3, walking at the M's as setting disciples to walk on the M's. Number 4, consistency, behavior. Those are the 4 ways to gather disciples. So look at, he's talking about, Buddha. Bodhisattvas are so compassionate. So they always wish all sentient beings free from suffering. How they can be freed from suffering? That's why, based on knowing the Dharma, based on knowing the reality, right? That's why, for example, some master is so compassionate. He cannot say, come here, I'll give you teaching. You cannot say, right? Hey, come here, I will give you teaching. I will teach you Dharma. They cannot come. They won't come. First, the Bodhisattvas, even the Buddhas, the teacher, try to be friend with them. Friend with them. Right? How? Generosity. Generosity, right? That's why the master, the teacher, give something, give food, clothes, tea, coffee, be friend. That's why generosity. When you're generous, people will follow you, people will come to see you. The second, even though you are very generous, you give food, clothes, everything, but your speak is not, pleasant. Always speak unpleasant. They won't come to see you. They will come, stay, how long? Very short time. And they will leave, right? Pleasant speak. So yes, the master, the Bodhisattva able to bring the student, able to bring the people to see and speak very nicely, pleasantly. Then most important what? Not just simply speak, right? When they speak, when they talk, must explain what is good, what is bad. What is good, what is bad, the good must abandon. The good must be adopt. The bad must be eliminate. They have to get advice. Then third one, walking at the M's at setting disciple to walk on the M's as they have been taught. That means This the bit translation, bit different here. Yeah. Then the third one, first the teacher or student don't kill any sentient beings. He said, and also let them follow the advice. Make sure the person not killing. That means it's not enough to say you should not kill. Make sure the person not killing. The fourth one, what consistency of behavior is establishing yourself. Then the teacher said, you should not kill insect. You should not kill anybody. Make sure the teacher him or herself not killing anybody. Right? That means if the has a four perfect generosity, pleasant speaking, and make sure the disciple follow what he said. The fourth important one, the master also must be practice. For example, at the beginning, at the first day when I met, TBC EXCO member and some other, Dharma friends in the Gelang at the TBC, I introduced myself. My name is Geshe Yonten. I am from Radha. Then I say openly, I am not vegetarian. I say openly. Even though I pretend, I am vegetarian, if you ask, Sifu, what would you like this? Can you buy vegetarian food? I pretend I am vegetarian. Right? And secretly I eat meat. If one day the people know I am taking meat, I really hurt them. I really lie. Right? That means whatever you say, you must practice. If you're not able to practice, you should not say. Right? If I'm not able to practice, I'm not practicing myself. If I say you must practice, they say, oh, you're not practicing, why I have to practice? Right? It's mentioned here. The four reasons. The reasons why they are stipulated at four. Question, why are the way of gathering disciples set as a four? Replies, right? In order to gather a following of disciples for the sake of establishing them in the virtues, they must first be pleased. Generally, the first, easy to get pleased, easy to become friend, what? Generosity. Right? If you give food, clothes, money, people become very easily friend with you. At the beginning, if you just give advice, people never come to see, oh, too much, right? Too much. That's why first gathering. I told you one story, very nice story. In my religion, Zanskar, we have a Buddhist, we have a Muslim. And Muslim, usually we have a rules. The Muslim people not allowed to fishing the Buddhist area. With the river is long, from here our Buddhist area you should not fishing. This is okay, you can fish. We say never. Then there was a Muslim, he fishing everywhere. Then we, if fighting is no good, then there was a monk. So he went to Tibet when he was young. So he learned, all the food, the gathering, 4 ways to gathering disciples. He learned this technique. Then first, he invited the Muslim come to, his place. Then he cooked really good food. So they were having, good food. They know each other. Then the Muslim was so happy, have a good food with the monk. Then he invited the monk. Why not next time when you come to town, please come to my house. The monk said, yeah, I will come. The next day the monk went to his house, have a good food. They become good friends. So after become very good friend, then he said one day, hey, I heard you are fishing everywhere, huh? It's okay, but I feel so shy. Well, you are my best friend, right? I feel shy. He didn't say no good. Oh, I heard you are fishing everywhere. I feel so shy. You should not do that. The next few days, he totally stopped to fishing everywhere. Somebody asked, why you did stop? Why you don't go fishing everywhere? Then say, I'm very worried my friend going to see me. I'm very worried my friend monk going to see me. I feel so shy. Now you can see the generosity work very well, right? He didn't give a teaching. So that's why, this very important kind of methods, how, disable, gather and bring together. Okay, since today, I think the lessons are quite, so we use the book number 3, the volumes 3. It's quite serious topic. So we will go very slowly. Because this chapter, the meditative civilization chapter is simply if we can understand what does mean, meditative civilization. When we do practice, there's few techniques, very important, so difficult to understand. That's why the next two, topic, mainly topic about meditative civilization and the wisdom. Wisdom is, you can say difficult, but compared with the first is bit easy. For example, when you do meditation on any, chosen object, mindfulness must be there. Alertness must be there. Right? Then concentration, alertness, then, another mind which is fully absorb the mind. That means 3 minds is function at the same time. Then there are so many obstacles of meditation. One is the what you call laxation, laxity. Your mind just go away. Then sometimes your mind is not go away. Your mind is fully focused on object. But there's a dullness. Dullness is there. There's another condition which is increase the dullness. So in order to know the perfect meditation, we must learn how to focus on the object. Also, we must learn alertness about your focus. At the same time, you must learn, make sure I'm focused, but make sure there's no dullness. It's very technical, kind of difficult to understand the process. So next lessons, so we go very slowly, but we have to jump few pages. So I will select the most important one. Then you also must read and try to understand. Then, so first we study maybe 1.5 hours. Then we have a break. Then we do meditation. I will ask you just observe your object, your chosen object, and also you just learn at that time you have alertness or not. The mind is fully looking at your meditation. Also, I will ask you, make sure that time you don't have the dullness. You focus, but make sure you focus very clearly. So we have to go the class with the practice. Okay, so we stop here so we can do the dedication prayers. Okay, we have a little time. Anybody has any question? Whether we do the dedication prayers? Any question? Yes?
Under page
218.
the one mentioned by Maitreya on the sublime continent. I think second last paragraph.
218. 214, 218. Okay.
The stanza under Maitreya.
Uh-huh.
The first one, conceptualization of the three spheres. May I know what this is?
Okay, page number 218. Then Shanti Deva, Sublime Commentary. Oh, yeah, Maitreya also says in the Sublime Continuum, right? The conceptualization of the three faces, three spheres,
The agent, object, and recipient. I don't think so, right? Because
the conceptualization of the three spheres are said to be cognitive operation. I will check in Tibetan, but I don't know which one. Oh, Gambopa. Maitreya. Gombolundu. It's the wisdom chapter, right? Merit civilization wisdom. Maitreya Buddha. Let me see on here. Therefore, regarding Venerable Maitreya also says, once you rely on the learned person, you must study according with your capacity. Later study without study, what could there be reflect upon? The corners of the three phases are stated by cognition, cognitive obscuration, while cognitive sense and the like such by the reflect on the obscuration. The wisdom is the cause of their elimination, nothingness. The wisdom is the. I think he's talking about study, reflection, meditation. Okay, yeah, three. Yeah. That means studying, reflecting or reflection? Reflection or reflecting and meditating. Three together. Yeah. Which of the three sphere areas is said to be cognitive observation, while contemplation at the is the correct three. Study, reflection and meditation. Any question? No? Yes?
What pages should we read for next time?
Or next time you read book number 3. Within the book number 3, we study a little bit about the meditation area. So, also we study meditation, object of meditation. Also we studied which object is the best for meditation. Yeah, you just study from there based on the book number 3. Right? Okay, 3 here. I mean, book number 3. Object means verifying directly. Synonymous. Context. Okay, why not we just read from page number 47. Focusing your mind. You read from there. And also you must read a few times, page number 33, all the way to 46. Yeah. Right? Page number 33 to 46 as a revision. So, I will shortly explain page number 43 and 46. Then we will start the new lesson focusing your mind. Okay, that means page number 47. Maybe few pages. That means you have a two homework. Huh? One is as a revision, one is as a new topic or new kind of lesson. Make sure. Huh? Because the revision is so important. Is talk about object of meditation. Okay, so two homework. One is a revision, one is a new topic.